Hello and welcome to Light Assault video guide series. My name is Iridar and today I'll be sharing a few tips on how to fight in a Biolab as a Light Assault. Biolab fights spend a lot of time in camping mode, when defenders camp all the entrances and kill all attackers on sight. No self-respecting solo player would participate in such a fight, when only overwhelming numbers or coordinated tactics can end this boring stalemate. If your faction is attacking, I would recommend looking for another fight. If you insist on staying, you can try to find an uncamped entrance and use it to flank camping defenders. But even if you manage to get through, you'll be going against superior numbers, and the amount of damage you can do as a single player is limited. If you're defending, you can just sit inside and camp the entrances if you like this sort of activity. If you need to break out of the Biolab and push down the lightest lane, you can try to end the stalemate by attacking enemies outside the dome shield. The easiest way is to use a teleporter to a nearby allied base, and then use its jump pad to slingshot yourself on top of the biodome, where you'll have a bit of space to maneuver. Beware of enemy air though. However, if attackers do manage to get through and gain some sort of a foothold, you as a light assault can be incredibly useful, both in attack and defense. Biolabs have lots of space for you to maneuver and wreak havoc, and the dome shields protects you against enemy vehicles. It's easy to find opportunities to engage with any weapon you might use. Your objectives will be the same for both sides. Take and hold control of capture points and generators, search and destroy maxes, prevent enemy movement, flank and destroy or harass choke points. Hunting enemy light assaults is also a high priority goal, as it takes a light assault to kill a light assault. Play like floor is lava, use routes only light assaults can use, and try not to attack through the same spot too many times. Now that we have this basic philosophy down, I have a few specific tips to show you. In no particular order, let's start with Biolab's exterior. The ridge and supports above the landing pad entrance are common camping spots for light assaults, and so is the second tier above, though it's more often used by snipers. The center top structure of the Biolab is often used to place spawn beacons, so check it whenever you have the opportunity. The obvious tip, you can walk on the roof to the second landing pad. You can also walk along the outer rim, but this is much more dangerous as you can meet other infantry. You can fly and walk alongside the ridge slightly above if you want to try ambushing that other infantry. If for whatever reason you don't want to use other approach paths, you can use Biolab's support structures to help you fly to the outer rim, but that's gonna take a long time. Known to few, Biolab's outer rim has these petals on the inside, which you can use to move along the outer rim in absolute safety. I don't think anyone will ever discover you here. The cover around the landing pad is a fertile ground to make light assault plays. You can jet all around, flanking all sorts of people, and even throw C4 over the wall. If you get wounded and need to reload, you can fly to the support structure below the landing pad, but other light assaults may follow you here. For a more safe position, you can fly to a petal below the rim, but you have to have a lot of jetpack fuel ready. There's also this small spot on the outer side. Here you can camp enemies moving through the gravity lift. Obviously there is no gravity lift at this particular Biolab. Another tip, if you're just joining the Biolab fight and you don't know what's the situation on the landing pad, you should fly just slightly above and peek to check if it's safe. If you use this teleporter room, you can fly up along the rocks on the left to start clearing the roof, or just rush straight to the point. The A-point building has two entrances that only light assault can use. The first one is this window. You can look and shoot through it from the roof, and you can walk on the ridge outside to check the situation before going in. Be aware that enemies might notice you by your gun or laser sight sticking through a wall. The bad thing about the window is that you're gonna be completely exposed while moving to it, so it's more often used by defenders. You have to crouch to get through the window, and if you're good with a jetpack, you can do so without even slowing down. The second entrance is that doorway. The window is safer for defenders, and the doorway is safer for attackers. There's pros and cons to using the safe or unsafe entrance. If you use an unsafe entrance, enemies are less likely to expect you from that direction, but you can get flanked yourself by incoming enemy reinforcements. As a light assault, do not use doorways below, just don't be on the first floor at all, it's a death trap. Sometimes, when the window is camped by attackers on the other side of the building, it may be worth it to enter through the first floor on the defender's side and fly to the second floor, but it's dangerous too. In this case it may be better to try through the balcony instead. If you're going through this teleporter room, you can fly along this side of the wall and you'll be protected from enemies that might be camping down there. This is the safest White Assault entrance when everything is camped. Of course, this position is often camped by enemy Light Assaults, so when flying up, be ready to fire and maybe use your knife. As soon as you fly up, make sure to take a look around, as you'll be open to enemy Light Assaults on this whole wide angle. This is called Banana Building if you're funky, and the Crescent Moon Building if you're a nerd. If you're attacking from this teleporter, you can fly up to the Banana Building right away, or you can fly up to the rocky part through leaves. This teleporter is one of the more dangerous ones. It too leads you to an open place, so use it only when it's not actively camped. The approach to B point through Banana Building is often used by attackers, so if you're a defender, this will be an unsafe spot for you. Higher risk, higher reward. If enemies have captured the B point, you can often use this route to unexpectedly attack them, and shoot them in the back while they're camping the doorways below. Just be careful not to step on a mine. In fact, all the doorways are often mine. The C point is a bit less convenient for you to attack as a Light Assault. I advise to use windows to first check what's inside, and maybe only then rush in. Always check the corners, enemies can be hard to notice there if you don't pay attention. You can fly on top of these shelves. You'll still be open to enemy fire, but at least you'll be not quite where they expect. If you're a defender and enemies are attacking from that landing pad entrance, this roof will give you a good vantage point on them. You can camp the other entrance from the rocks above, if you like camping. If you're attacking and there's not a lot of resistance, you should just rush in and fly up. Remember, floor is lava, do not stand on floor. If you stand on floor, you might as well play any other class. The tree is also a good spot, especially if you have a fitting camo. You'll still be instantly detected by your tracers, but at least you'll be a bit harder to see. If you're attacking, defenders often set turrets down below, so you may use the tree to give you a flanking angle. Beware of the spawn room though. Let's talk about the center structure. It's basically a Light Assault heaven. There's lots of cover that makes you hard to see and engage, and from it you can shoot to almost any point of the Biolab. Of course, because it's so good, it's a popular spot, so expect it to be contested. You can also go to the crow's nest at the top. It gives you a really good angle at whatever happens below, but it's so high up, enemies will be far away, so you really need a good ranged carbine or blackhand sidearm to be able to effectively engage enemies from that point. If you have to deal with an enemy Light Assault that made a nest for himself up there, just grab a sniper rifle and shoot him. He'll never see it coming. To get to that nice little spot, go to the tip of this tree branch and off you go. Up there, you're limited to this little angled perch, no cover and limited place to maneuver. You have to fly to change positions. Overall, Biolabs can be incredibly frustrating to play in, or incredibly fun. It is the worst of times, it is the best of times. Hopefully, my tips will help you have more fun than frustration. As additional material, you can watch the Biolab combat footage compilation that I have cut from my Light Assault music videos. You can find the link in the video description below. The guide is now concluded, my name is Iridar and I'll see you next time.